Get my 6. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday afternoon as of this recording. What a wonderful day it is after one heck of a heat wave. We have almost autumn-like temperatures and weather here in Central Virginia. Hope it's comfortable where you are. These stories are piling up from you guys. Thanks for sending them. If you have a story of anything supernatural / paranormal / cryptozoological / spiritual related, send it in to the channel. The email address is crazylake@mail.com. Guys, I'm really trying to come out here and do 2 of these a day. That's an airplane. Thought it was a owl. Trying to get 2 a day in because these stories are piling up so much. So with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get right to it. This is a story about cryptids, very unique kind of cryptids. However, potentially type of cryptids we may or may not have seen here on our property and captured in some of our videos to a degree, and you'll understand what I mean by that as you hear this story. It says, I realize that all cryptid stories could be prefaced by saying you're not going to believe this, but no, really, this is literally like something out of a movie. It was a bright, cold, winter, snowy day. I was ready to go sledding, all dressed up in many soft, warm layers, plus a puffy coat. I was a teenager then, long time ago now. I had gone down a short, fast hill and was walking back up to the top when my feet and ankles got tangled up in something. I fell face first, but instead of falling into soft, cold snow, I fell on something hard and sharp, or spiky in some places, and it was warm to the touch, more so than snow anyhow. When I opened my eyes from falling, I noticed I was not face deep in snow as I should have been. That was when I noticed that the outline in the snow was not my own. It was bigger than me and shaped differently. As I attempted to push myself up a little, I realized I was on something or someone. To me, and to any observer, if there had been one, it would have looked like I had fallen and was hovering a few inches above the snow. All of this realization happened within seconds. As I started to push myself up, I couldn't help but notice the hard, armored, and chitinous plates underneath my hands. Now, me being young, curious, and idiotic, I felt around to see what or who I had landed on. I felt a roughly humanoid form. I swear I'm not lying, it was not dissimilar to a certain cloaked / camouflaged movie creature, but as I felt around the head, it started to move and wake up, making strange sounds as it did so. Before I could ask it who or what it was, it kicked me up in an arc that ended with my ass in a bush. Thank goodness for all the padding. That bush wasn't soft, and I had flown quite a few feet back into it. The last I saw the thing, its shimmery form was running off to the tree line some distance away. From that kick and how far I flew, I'm sure it was strong enough to have killed me easily, but it didn't. Guess it wasn't my time, or maybe because I wasn't armed or a threat. Just dumb, trusting, naive, and too curious for my own good. So what did I do after this trauma? I rested, I drank a soda, I ate a snack, and went back to sledding, and had a lovely day. By the way, if you've seen the movie Predator, you can guess the basic outline of the thing I got tangled up with, more or less. That's close enough to it. I'm okay, just glad the darn thing wasn't hungry or angry or worse, indeed. What can I say, Lake? I got lucky. So there you go. And how many times have we potentially seen something similar to that? Obviously many, because that's a common comment I've seen in the comment section about how folks have seen predator type things in the background, like the movie Predator, kind of going in and out of visibility and whatnot. Cloaking devices have often been mentioned. So guys, it's not just happening here, it's happening everywhere, at least for those who can see and hear such things. So gonna read you another one now, and this one I would say probably falls in the line of a ghost story. Says, Dear Mr. Lake, I really enjoy your channel and feel as if you, Dearly, and Daniel are friends. The following is just one of many spirit experiences that I've had. I hope you like it, and you may share it if you like. You may also use my name because every word is true. Blessings, Tina Leonard. So Tina Leonard, thanks for this story. And guys, that's just a reminder for me to remind you that if you do send a story, if you would like to remain anonymous, like the sender of the first story, we'll keep you anonymous. But if you want your name shared, by all means, we'll share your name. Just make sure you give me permission in your email to use your story, use your name, and to use your story either on the channel or potentially in an upcoming work of collected stories that may go to print. Tina Leonard titles her story Christmas Visitor. Being a spiritualist, spirits, or ghosts if you insist, are not unusual to me. I've had several experiences and would like to share one of my most vivid and moving. It was Christmas night, or perhaps the wee hours of December 26. Being in the midst of a probable divorce, the holiday with my family had been both wonderful and painful for me. I cried a bit before I said my prayers and fell asleep. That was not unusual. By the way, I lived alone. Sometime later, I awoke, turned on the lights, and used the restroom and got a drink of water. I was very awake. It was bitter cold outside, Indiana weather, as I turned to my bedroom and snuggled back in my warm bed beside the drafty window of my two-story townhouse. My feet were cold from the bathroom run, and I felt chilly and once again sad and lonely. Just then, I heard footsteps coming up the stairs. I was surprised, but not afraid, and was now super awake. The footsteps continued, and then I heard the old floor of the landing creak and groan, and the steps neared my bedroom door. I raised up on my elbows, not anxious to get out of bed because of the chill. It seemed even colder than a few seconds before. Before I could say anything, the left side of my bed lowered and the spring squeaked. My jaw dropped, and I felt the weight of that side of the bed even out, as if someone went from sitting to lying down. Instantly, I felt better. I felt warm. At this point, I was still not frightened, just curious. Indeed, I felt a sense of peace and love. I was comforted. I felt loved and cared for, and my feet were no longer cold, nor was the room. I am not absolutely sure who visited me that cold, sad Christmas night/morning, but I know positively that it was one of my family members from the other side of the veil coming to get me through the night. Probably my daddy. Stay well and stay kind. Tina Leonard. Tina, thanks for your story. That's one big popular hypothesis, is that some of these things on the other side of the veil, they visit us at times when we need them most. They're not all evil. They're not all scary. Some of them are comforting, as Tina's story just portrayed. We have a writer here that sent in several stories, a writer by the name of Arnold, who gave us permission to use their name. So thank you, Arnold. Hello, Kevin. Well, my experiences involve the supernatural and oddities. Great, love them. Send them all, guys. This is the first story. My first story involving the year my dad passed away. I was homeless between residences. I was the last to see my dad in hospice care. I experienced the most amazing experience near Christmas 2014 during my slumber. I had a vision. I was walking among intense white clouds and bright light all over everything, feeling unconditional love on a white path among the haze. I could see also among the clouds things that resembled skyscrapers. I suddenly felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned around to see my late father, perfectly healthy, in his everyday clothes, glasses, and bright orange logger suspenders. He was stepping back with a smile on his face. "Dad?" I asked. He nodded. Hearing, I am guessing telepathically, he said to me, "I love you and I am proud." I did not want to leave there, the unconditional love and the peace. I came out of the vision, back into my mortal body. I visited heaven. It does exist, folks. So Arnold has a very interesting story there about visiting heaven and seeing his father. That's a beautiful story, Arnold. Thank you for sharing it. Here's Arnold's second story. Darkest experiences. In my bedroom at my late dad's house, mumbling voices among the dark. A few times something very dark, shaking foot to the bed mattress violently. Shadowy, human-like form among the darkness, glowing a dull gray, dim light around it. "What are you doing?" I asked. Clear as day, at night, from the first floor. I was the only one in the house, and knocked 3 times behind my head in the stairway area. And it knocked 3 times behind my head in the stairway area. The dark entity that shook my bed last time, it came quite close to the side of the large bed this time. I invoked Archangel Michael. It retreated extremely fast in the darkness, leaving. I heard an unholy banshee like screech at night through my bedroom window. I hated the Holy Bible too at this time. I discovered after my half and step siblings evicted me from my late dad's house that year he died. All because of greed. They wanted the house and the land for themselves. Many families like that these days. Yeah. Later on, the land is cursed. Dark entities roam the land, and a very ancient antiquity evil entity, too, the titan of the Greek myth, in slumber, resides under the property, guarded by 4 light sentinels, keeping the beast in that sleep state. Other things happen on that land. So, it sounds to me like that's not a bad place from which to be evicted, Arnold. Maybe your step-siblings and half-siblings are going to get what they have coming to them, staying there on that creepy place with all those dark entities. Here's the third story from Arnold. And Arnold sent this story probably 10 days ago. That's how far behind I am. So, folks, if you've sent a story and you've been coming back checking to see if I read it, just keep coming back because I'm getting to them. They are piling up, and I am, knock on wood, trying to get to where I can do 2 of these a day to get caught up with some of these stories, okay? Number 3 from Arnold. 3 times I witnessed triangle-shaped large UFOs with 3 glowing white lights hovering over the road at night at treetop level. It vanished, approaching. It says it vanished me approaching it on the road in the blink of an eye. So I guess it vanished in the blink of an eye. Saw it vanish in the blink of an eye. I reached the point, only star-filled night sky above me. Another time, far up in the sky, a triangle UFO in the night sky appeared to jump away off the earth, only guessing at light speed. Last time, at ground level, and at night, it was hovering over me at a standstill, many colored shifting orbs over an open grassy field, and it seemed to be holding position above an old family cemetery. So there's some UFO stuff right there going on. And finally, Arnold sends us his 4th story. Another tale I will tell you. I become awake to my psychic gift. I'm homeless still at my mother's house, living and sleeping on the floor in her spare room in a meditative trance. The entire floor shook when an entity I was fighting on the astral plane in rage manifested itself, creating a loud booming crash from my mother's bedroom closet, sending vibrations. It was Halloween, close to Halloween when this happened. I experienced events there. 3 knocks on the spare bedroom closet door from the inside. That same closet door opened on its own, and I barricaded it after the 3rd time. Uneasiness always in the apartment and around my mother. Something that is attached to my mother, something very dark, I know for a fact. And then finally, there's a 5th tale from Arnold. Last tale dealing with the supernatural. I was outside in late summer enjoying the day near the tree line and in a dip near the forest. I was sitting there meditating, communing with nature. I heard a critter behind me moving among the brush. Cool breeze and birds singing in the tree line not far off. I decided to open my eyes, turning to face the forest. Hearing chittering above and forward, it seemed to be coming from behind a large leaf on a tree branch. I sat there silently, suddenly chittering 2nd time soon after perfect white fairy-like thing appeared, popping out from behind the leaf. I was speechless. As quick as the wing appeared, it vanished, and I sat there in shock, knowing I witnessed a rare sight, a fairy. Yes, folks, there is fairy folk among us. Respect nature and all in it. Sometimes we can hear things out here growl, but we can't see them. But yeah, fairy, tree spirits, all these things, certainly a possibility, and more than one person, aside from Arnold, has seen these things. If you've seen them, share your experiences in the comment section. And if you have a story, again, send it to the channel, crazylake@mail.com. Okay? The new channel administrator, Erie, will make sure that I receive all stories. She's doing great, freeing me up to, I do believe here, if not today, even make 2 of these videos a day since she's handling all the administrative stuff. So here's another UFO story. This one comes from 3-star retired General Jazz. Okay? He knows who he is. He says, "Hello, Colonel. Yes, it's me. I don't have any spook stories to share, but I do have an encounter with a UFO or two." So, one UFO story. It's not scary or horrifying, just a close encounter of a dense mind. General Jazz has such a way with words. It was 2005, the end of July if I remember correctly. It was in Harmony Grove area of Escondido, California, a spook-filled place all on its own. It was about 9:30 at night, and I had just left a friend's cabin with a second friend and was walking back to my car in a parking area down the hill. When we reached the parking area, I felt the presence of something, but I didn't know where it was. But then I glanced up, and hovering about 50 feet above us was what looked like the bottom of a helicopter, the troop-carrying kind with an old-fashioned coffin-shaped bottom. You know, wider at the shoulders, narrower at the feet. The bottom had lights spaced along it, so I could make out the shape. But it wasn't making a sound, and there was no rush of wind like I would expect from a conventional helicopter. I pointed up and said to my friend, "Hey, what's that?" And immediately the thing shot straight up and out over the surrounding mountains, headed west in the direction of the ocean, maybe 40 miles away. It took that thing less than a nanosecond to rise high enough to look like a star and then be gone. But it left both of us shaking and wondering what it was. We wondered if it was some sort of military device, since there are Army and Navy bases in the general area, but we never heard or read that anybody else saw the thing. I've never told anybody this story because they might think I was crazy. But a lot of us here like crazy stories, no pun intended, so I thought it couldn't hurt. Thanks for all you do, sir. I've been a regular fan for years, and I love your rambles. Thank you, General Jazz. Hoping to get back to some of those rambles once I get caught up on all these stories, which is appearing to be more and more likely to happen sooner than later with Erie's help. So folks, if you have a story, again, send it to the channel, crazylake@mail.com. I am within just 3 days away from completely being finished with the 5th round of drafts and edits for October Nights Part 2, 31 more tales for the Halloween season. So that should be out very, very, very soon. You can get Part 1 from our Etsy channel, get it autographed in print that way, or you can go over to Amazon and get it in Kindle or print. I posted this on the community channel earlier. We only have 3 packs of Dearly's delicious adobo manit, which is Filipino adobo peanuts left. Doing some really cool woodwork projects on there. You can check that out at our Etsy store as well. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated, even if the weather is cooling down where you are, because it's deceivingly deceptuous. Is that a word? I don't know. You can sweat and not really notice it because your sweat's drying with the lower humidity. So stay hydrated, stay safe, send us your stories. See you for more next time. Is that one of those things right there? Potentially.